Hello, everyone. Welcome to our next episode of Sunday Prep. Welcome, Jim. How are you?
Good, Father. Doing well today. How are you today?
Doing great. Everything is coming along. We are coming closer and closer to spring. I hope. I know I'm complaining about cold, but as I said last video, I just like to do it. Cold is my favorite thing, and it's not that I don't like it, but I like to talk about it in a little bit negative way sometimes. So
Yeah,
it's
we're
a good
getting
thing.
there. We're getting there. Yeah, there was a funny I don't know, meme or comment or something online about New Jersey weather, how you've got winter and then you've got fake spring and then you get second winter and then you get second fake spring and then you get third. There's just kind of like this, like, oh, it's warming, it's warming. No, it's cold again, it's cold again. And you're just kind of in this. So we're somewhere in that kind of second winter phase of like, you get a couple of days where it gets to 40, 50, and you're like, wow, take off your jacket, you're feeling good. And then immediately it crashes back down to 15 degrees and you're you're wondering what's happening. But
Yeah, oh, that's
alas.
that's that's exactly me. That's exactly me.
Yep, exactly. So yeah,
It's
what do
like
they say? Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Is that where whatever
yes,
you know what I mean? So
yeah.
don't take out your spring clothes just yet.
Well, no, I still have my winter jackets up first, before I leave. No, I'm not taking them until probably like the end of April, beginning of May. That will be my time.
There you
And
go.
so simply because of my growing up, we never took our winter jackets to, winter closets before May. So it was always waiting until that.
There you go. Absolutely.
So, well, here we are. We are with our next Sunday. So time. It seems like the week is going like this.
Absolutely.
And time is passing, and we are growing, hopefully. And like this coming Sunday. Well, I don't want to say scary, uh, but there are some things that may seem to us like something, boom, all right, I forgot about it, or my thoughts are, all right, well, I should be a little worried. And like this coming Sunday, gospel, it's an amazing reading, if you take it both, in your daily routine and in your spiritual reflection and self-conscious, to be aware of the things that we are doing every day, because that affect both our outside and our inside. And the last paragraph, I should say, or should use, of the gospel says, stop judging and you will not be judged, stop condemning and you will not be condemned, forgive and you will be forgiven, give and gifts will be given to you, good measure, packed up together, shaken down and overflowing, will be poured into your lap. It really sounds like life, right? I mean, seriously, we are judging, like even simple thing as weather, right? We are judging it, and we are like, it kind of decides of our mood in the morning, if it's really freezing cold or rainy, dark. We're like, it's life. Things were coming up, that are routine, that are we are so used to. They are the deciding of our even day. And should that really be, like, things of outside should really define my day, should really be like, okay, that's how I reflect what is happening in my life, and then take it from within. Everything that is happening in the family, everything that is happening in the world, in the news, in your own personal life, everything is, can be, a reflection of what is happening. But then here we are, the Lord is bringing that all up for us, to think about all this stuff that are happening in life, that are affecting the life. Not to measure, not to judge, not to bring it up in a negative way, but turn it around, think about it, and changing it to good. Mother Teresa was always saying that small things can be great, but the great things cannot be small. How beautiful that is in the context of this reading of what Jesus is teaching us. From the small things of daily life, we can build up to bring great things. And then all those great things will be not only changing the world, and that means our own personal world, to be spread around in a greater good, greater joy, and the things that will bring hope into another day, into another year, into all that we are doing. But then, take it around. Great things cannot be small. Well, if we take only suffering, the pain, all the nostalgia, drama, everything that is happening, those things are big. No matter how small they may seem, they are always big. And simply because look at that, what we can bring. If we bring drama into our family, into workplace, into the world, surrounding world, well, that's how we will judge. That's how we will perceive all that is happening. And we'll bring that upon other people too. And so, those great things will not get small, they go even bigger. And we cannot have that because that will be literally distraction of every single minute of life. And so Jesus, our Lord, is reminding of that, to be mindful always with our feelings, what we do, how we share, how we speak, every single thing, because all those, yes, they are gifts. Every single day is a gift. And so we literally pack that all together into one sack bag, which is our life, literally. And from what we pick from it, it belongs to us, right? And so, yes, it may sound scary if we will take it literally, okay? If I will be judging so harshly, badly, wrongly, that's the way I will be. If I will be condemning, well, will be receiving the same. So yes, those things will be happening, but then how they will be happening? That's how we will be taking what we are receiving. And so it is overflowing. It is so much to take from, but also how to take it and the way to use it. And so we were talking with Mr. Clancy, and this last sentence, yes, it can sound really scary and fearful. For the measure with which you measure, will in return be measured out to you. Well, here it is. The same even with our relationship. You see, you're meeting someone, and the person will be like, hey, how are you? Everything is good. And then we'll respond with anger, bam, right? Well, what do we expect in return? The joy that everything is the same? No. And we don't want that. We want the relationships within the love and care, because all this will be coming up. We should never be a mirror reflection of our feelings, but we should be the one who are directing. As Catholics, as Christians, we are the sharers of love, of care, of compassion, of forgiveness. And so that should be our reflection in the world. And that's how we will show that who we are. The one who sends us in love, we share the love. And so, I don't want to scare you because of that sentence, but what Jesus was trying to teach, to be the love as he was. And of course, as Jesus was not he is a perfect person. But you see, even that perfection was rejected. We will be too. But we shouldn't stop, and we shouldn't reflect evil with evil, anger with anger, hatred with hatred, but share the what we would like to receive ourselves, and that will be also a help to us. And I will just share the last thoughts of my own. You see, every priest in the diocese, they always say, Father Matt, how is it that you always smile? Because I want to smile back, you know? And so, and they always do that. They say, whenever we see you, we want to smile because you're just bringing that smile. Even a simple thing as that, I love to bring smile. I love to bring that joy of every day. And that's what I will be doing no matter what. Even if people will hate me for that, okay, well, maybe one day that will change. And I'm praying for that. Okay, I will stop because I will be talking. So, Jim, say something.
No, I loved everything you said. And the part at the end about smiling. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. There's something infectious about smiling in general. But you Father too do a great job of setting that example of trying to always kind of push out and project out and give out kind of a joyful demeanor, and it becomes something that does become infectious or contagious. And we are scared of those words now, but but in a good way, yeah, it kind of, it spreads, and that's a great thing. So yeah, amen to that. I was going to say, Father, you kind of caution people about, not to be scared and not to be intimidated by the readings. And I was going to say the opposite. I'm terrified of these readings for the gospel, but maybe I should take more of your advice, but maybe just a couple of thoughts. I was thinking, looking at these readings of actually just last night, we had our confirmation classes last night, and I had the opportunity to kind of fill in for one of the classes. And, I made a point that I've made a lot of times over the years with students regarding Jesus, because, well, it's appropriate to talk about Jesus when you're teaching confirmation, right? So, and one of the points that I was making is that with Jesus, there's no middle ground with Jesus. Jesus is not kind of a, either or, sure, why not, kind of lukewarm, mediocre. Jesus is, as C.S. Lewis says, either the Lord, he's a liar or he's a lunatic, right? And so, and if he's a liar, right, and or a lunatic, then of course we reject this person. But if he's the Lord, then we kind of have to kind of go all in with him. And so I think in the Gospels we find every now and then these moments, these readings where Jesus seems to kind of grab us and almost shake us and say, like, wake up and pay attention. Like, you're with me or you're against me. It's not, a kind of like, hey, if you like what I have to say, why don't you come along for the ride? And, maybe I'll see you next weekend or something. He's very dramatic almost in the words that are used. And I think in the gospel reading that we're going to hear, when you come to Mass on Sunday, kind of buckle up for a lot. There's a lot here, but it's beautiful. The one little piece that I want to kind of focus in on just for a moment here is at the very beginning of the gospel, where Jesus says, Jesus said to his disciples, to you who hear, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. And then it kind of continues on with some of the words we've heard before. If someone strikes you, turn the other cheek, and so on and so forth. But the line that's striking to me is this few words here that says, do good to those who hate you. And, as Father Matt and I were kind of chatting a little bit before we hit record, I said that, I think it's easy for us to characterize, our enemies, as kind of these far off, distant people. Yes, I'll pray for the conversion of, the terrorists who live in a far off land, or the pagans who live out in the jungles of some foreign country who worship idols, or something kind of vague and disconnected from, our personal reality. And, maybe there's some value in that, I suppose, but I think what the Lord's talking about, because, Jesus is speaking to a very particular crowd. He's speaking to his disciples. And, what was the experience of those disciples? It wasn't, far off nations who were their enemies. Their enemies were literally occupying their city. The Romans literally were walking amongst them and slapping them and kicking them. And as they would walk past, the Romans had the legal authority to demand that, you carry their stuff for 1 mile. And that's why Jesus says things like, if they ask you to carry it for 1, carry it for 2. Or if they strike you, turn the other cheek. And, there's this kind of radical response to like the very tangible experience of hatred. And so kind of, I'm wondering, what is our modern day experience of hatred, as, suburban American, kind of very privileged and very blessed people, in the sense of we have a lot of material comfort. So who are our enemies? Who are those who hate us? And I think it comes out, sadly, as we all kind of have experienced, a lot of the polarization in our country, whether it's regards to politics or religious practice, or family dynamics, or economic differences, or racial differences, whatever it is. There tends to be these kind of groupings that we like to put ourselves into, and we like to put other people into. And I think when this happens, it creates this tension that shouldn't exist. Right. And we start to see the other side, whatever side that might be, as the side that hates us. And so when that person, whoever that might be, who, who does something that is so minor or insignificant, but because they are part of the other group, we tend to kind of take it as an act of hatred against us. And we tend to kind of feel a sense of anxiety or defensiveness or rebellion against them. But Jesus has some very practical words here, right? Do good to those who hate us. And I think that's a real challenging thing, because we might think something like, okay, well, I'll just turn the other cheek, meaning like I'll just quietly go away. I won't make a comment to the person in ShopRite who's, wearing whatever, a button on their jacket that represents the other side of whatever that might be, right? And that, okay, that's fine, maybe not engaging, but how about actively doing something good, right? How about actively like noticing that that person who's on the other side, whatever side that might be, to say like, I'm going to actively love them. I'm going to actively try to do something good for them. I'm going to go out of my way to, as you said, Father, smile, right? Not to scowl, right? We got to kind of want to scowl at our enemies and be like, okay, well, I'm going to look at you with suspicion and, cautiousness and defensiveness, but all right, I'm going to actively engage with you with something as simple as a big smile, or a friendly gesture, or a welcoming hand, or as we were joking about the weather, assuming we get a blizzard, I'm going to go help shovel their walkway. I'm going to, there's so many little things that can be done, but I think the idea of doing good to those who hate us is something I think we very easily can fall into the trap of thinking that we do well, but I think we probably, if we were honest, we probably don't do well. I think we like to just avoid the situation and say, well, I'm just avoiding, retaliation. When I think Jesus has maybe a different command, which is to be an active good towards those who might kind of be different or have opposite opinions or views or interests or ideologies or whatever it could be. But anyway, this gospel reading is so full of things. We could have talked for an hour, and I know we say that a lot, but it really, really is. And I hope for everyone who's watching, I hope on Sunday you're able to kind of sit with the readings and to soak them in and kind of see what the Lord's calling you to, because there's so much in this that we'll hear on Sunday, this gospel reading. So, but I better stop because, well, we have other things we have to do today, and I'm sure everyone else has other things to do today too. So
Yeah. Well, that's what it is, and as Jim said, there's so much more, and maybe other sentence will strike you, because there is something in your life that that is happening or has happened, and you're still struggling. So take a deep look, because it's really worth to make your examination of conscience too, to see the good that can be done, in daily simple life. God bless you all, and we'll see you on Sunday.
bye, everyone.